Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. Now it's time for your weekend tech tip, brought to you by Chevy Silverado.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you very much for watching the show this morning. We're joined by Scott Kaul from Brad's Killer Fishing Gear, and one of the things that we all love about Outdoor GPS, let alone it being the only live interactive fishing and hunting television show ever on the planet, by the way, and we're just about ready to turn 17.
Right on. Unbelievable. Really?
Yes, that's how long this has been, brother.
That means I'm really old.
I don't know about you being the old one, but there's so many different ways of rigging baits these days, right? And you've got so many options that are available, from the kokanee cut plug, which, by the way, is one of my favorite sizes for 30-pound, well, I say that, but the biggest Chinook you can run across in fall. They love the kokanee cut plug, just the little guy. And then, of course, now we've got skinny minis in the original size. But if we get a shot with that Kershaw Tech Cam, I want to show you real quickly. Let's break off this one, or either one of them, with that bead chain. This is one that I know hasn't really been shown much. Maybe there's others that are doing it other than yourself, and I've messed with it a bit.
Yeah.
Probably going to be my main way to go after it, because with the 6-bead bead chain or a 4-bead bead chain, which of course you can get from Brad's with their terminal gear, it's just a really simple and clean way to get that gap back there without having to have a whole bunch of beads, tubing, and all this other stuff, which all look good, work good, but when you just got the bead chain and a couple of beads above that, it just makes your life a little bit easier. I mean, would you agree with that?
I absolutely agree. So this is a small 4-bead chain, but you could do a standard 4-bead chain. I just experiment with different stuff, as anybody that's ever been in a boat with me will tell you.
Yeah.
I'm always experimenting with different stuff, just seeing what works. There's something to this for sure, though, because the bead chain, it just turns so easily. Even though, you know, a lot of times people are running the double octopus hooks, and they're on line, you know, mono. So you'd think, yeah, it's going to spin, it's going to bend, but it really doesn't bend as easily as this setup. You know, any way that fish turns, it's going to get the hook, because it just bends so quickly and easily.
And it stays with the fish when they're fighting, jumping around, shaking their head.
Even more importantly, it turns, as you know, like especially with cohos, they do the roll and all that. It just keeps turning and turning and turning and digs in. And these Siwash, I really like the Siwash hook. Like you mentioned, you can run a treble as well. If you're going to run a treble, you're probably going to want to do it in mostly a keep fishery and not a, you know, catch and release fishery. If you're in a catch and release and a keep fishery, you know, I'd stick with the Siwash. But yeah, both have been. Yeah, I've been really impressed with this setup.
And the reason why I say I haven't, there's so many different ways to rig a super bait or a cut plug. The skinny mini, which has become, for a lot of people, their go-to bait now. And a lot of that, let's just be honest here, is it's new, right? People aren't going to forget about the original super bait or the mini cut plugs or whatever they might be. It's just a new bait. The fish haven't quite seen. It's a different profile. But with that bead chain on there, I like the idea of a treble, and then it's really easy to put a stinger behind it. And of course, a kill fishery like what we're doing now on the Willamette, and then ultimately when it opens back up for fall Chinook. So it's just another way that you can experiment with your rigging for the super baits. And of course, even here you can see, here's one of the cut plugs rigged the same way with the large 4-bead bead chain. On the full-size super baits, the 6-bead bead chain and 2 8mm beads here is just about perfect. If you wanted to change things up, you know, on the back of that bead chain, you can put the split ring, and you can experiment with hook sizes if it's going to be single Siwash or if it's going to be a treble hook. There's just a number of things that you can do there. And I'd also wanted to point out, on your board, I'm assuming that you're one of those guys that goes through your whole board when you start experimenting or change
no doubt. Yeah.
There's a reason why Jared and some of the others do the same thing, that are just like yourself, crazed about your products and wanting to make sure that you're running different baits and really going through them. But can we point one other one out?
Yeah, let's point 2 other ones out.
All right, let's point. The first one I want to point out is right here. We've already got it out, and you kind of moved it off a little bit. He moved it away a little bit quick. But we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. I am taking
ya.
advantage of these opportunities, everyone. If you don't love me now. But look at that little tiny, what is that, a size 2?
Like size 1.
Size 1, a little bobber stop, a 4 mil bead, looks like, and then a little tiny blade in front of it. Number 1, I've never seen it. Yeah. Number 2, I know you haven't shown it off either. You can tell, look at him, close up on Scott right now. That's actually very interesting. There's been spinner blades in front of herring for years for a reason. When did you come up with that? And
I didn't come up with that. Like a lot of this stuff, I have a lot of people that like to test, like myself. And this was actually a good friend of mine that said, hey, why don't you try this? And I don't know if he'd actually tried it, if we were just talking about it, but I said, yeah, I'm going to do that this next time. And I did it for springers, and yeah.
And it worked.
It worked.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw it here first, everyone. I'm going to get in trouble. Trust me.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
That's a very.
We're here to help fishermen catch fish. So main thing is, if you can zoom in here, if I'm holding this the right way.
You are.
So main thing here is you want to make sure that the blade is clearing the head of the super bait.
Yep.
So just have your bobber stop up far enough so that the blade's not hitting, and that's it. It's very simple rigging.
Very simple. I can tell that right away. Is it a similar reason, though, to like herring? If you ran a spinner blade in front of a cut plug herring, it'll interfere with the spin of that herring. If you get it too close, is it just simply don't want to be banging the tip of the
Correct. Yeah, you want to have a free spin.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to have the free spin of it. You don't want it banging the nose of it. But yeah, it kind of brings both together, and yeah, you get the bait, and you get the spinner, and you get this action of the super bait, and like you mentioned, you get a little bling too from the bead chain.
I find that interesting. That was the reason why a buddy of mine actually showed me that initially. That's what I gravitated to it for initially, is because it gives you a little bit more eyeball.
Yeah.
With that bead chain there. I think it helps lock it in a little bit better as well, especially if you're fishing an evolution flasher, 360 flasher that might be fixed, where you have to have as much help as possible to help keep that hook in there. Single side wash, treble hook. If you had your choice between all the different riggings of the different baits, which one are you sticking with, and why would it be that way?
Oh, great question. I am really liking this single side wash. Number one, because there's not a lot of drag on the bait. You just have that single hook. Number two, there's so much in the gap of the side wash. There's just so much space so much purchase space to get in there and just dig into the side of the mouth. If it happens to be a wild, it's so easy to release. Just, you know, your pliers, just pop it out and it's gone. And it's just been, I've just had really good luck with it. I've had luck with the treble too, don't get me wrong, but it just, when I'm fishing, I'm all about efficiency, right? Get it, you know, get the fish, you know, get a new super bait on and get it out and get going. Sometimes with the trebles, it takes a little longer to get it out of the, you know, gets caught in the net and gets caught in the fish's mouth and, you know, this and that, and you're trying to do all that. And I'm just looking to get back and get fishing. And I'm having such good luck with the side wash, I don't know if there's a need to do a treble. Not that it doesn't work, it does. It absolutely does. And people that like to use a treble, go for it, absolutely. That's just my take, just because it's quicker and easier, release them if it's wild, and, you know, away you go.
That's a great perspective. And you fish them more than anybody else that I know, and you probably catch more fish with them than anybody else that I know, so I get it. You want to get that bait right back out there. Different types of hooks. There's single side wash that are just straight inline point to the shank. Do you like offset hooks? Do you like to change stuff like that?
Absolutely like the offset hook. Yep. There's something to it. It's straight in line. If I get it straight in line, I'll bend it out myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just about 7.5 degrees or so. Not to get too scientific or specific, but 7.5, not 7.45.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I agree 1,500%. And it's easy to do, and you'll understand what we're referring to. Inline, you just bend it over. Now that hook point is offset. It's easier to get purchased.
Not sure if they could see that or not.
Yeah, I don't know. It being so dark, you might not be. Oh yeah, you can see that there. With the Skinny Mini, is there a hook size? To me, that's a very small.
That is.
So that was small hook.
That was a Springer hook. So that's a size. That's a size 4, actually.
Okay.
Now we're getting into fall fishing, so I'm going to go larger. I'm going to go like size 1/0. So 1/0 is going to be closer. 1/0 in these hooks is going to be closer to a 4/0 in an octopus.
Okay, gotcha. Which makes sense. All right. So a couple of different things that you can do to change things up this fall Chinook season. For that matter, if you're going to be out on the Willamette, that lower section of the Willamette where the fishing has been pretty darn good. How many bites did you guys get yesterday in that short window?
6 or 7 bites, I think.
In the evening, from 3:30 to 8?
In the pouring rain, and on an incoming tide, and then turn around, and there were some fish there for sure.
Well, no doubt. So obviously this is something that you can try out. Everybody wants to do something a little bit different, right? And this is certainly something that at least one of those you haven't seen yet out of the two of them. But as always, man, our time's always short. We appreciate you coming.
Really appreciate
We appreciate your support here at GPS and helping all of our viewers be more proficient with using some of your products.
Well, I love people seeing on the water. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you very much for getting the word out. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we look forward to seeing some more of those photos when you catch more fish, will you?
I'm trying to take more photos. I am.
It's a thing. All right, we're going to cut to a quick break. When we come back, cross your fingers that technology is on our side. We're going to come back with Brad Staples of Brad Staples Fishing. He's on the Deschutes River right now. We're going to find out how things are going real time in just a couple of minutes.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Yakima Bait, steeped in tradition, innovation, and fishing success. Procure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective. And by North American Metals Incorporated, first choice for all your metal roofing and siding needs.